children of all ages. Get ready to be amazed. Put your hands together and make some noise. It's showtime!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Str8 Podcast, week number
12. This is episode 12.
Yes, episode 12. Thank you so much for listening,
This
everybody.
will be Webisode 11.
Webisode 11. It's our Mother's Day special.
Special edition, Mother's
Yes.
Day.
So happy my mother has gracefully decided to join us this week. Say hi.
Hello.
Don't forget, you can check us out on Twitter at
Str8 Podcast DJ on Twitter. You can also check us out on the Instagram at Str8 Podcast.
All
completely
spelled out.
Straight UPPODCAST.
I don't know why
West
you spell it
Virginia.
out. I don't know why you spell it out every week.
Well, because the other way is like with numbers, and there's no numbers in it.
I mean, it's true. You're right. And then on
If
on
you want to
YouTube-
watch
you
this
never talk about
podcast, we do video as well. You can catch us. You can cash us on YouTube. You can cash us online on YouTube. It's Str8 Podcast channel.
But it's Str8 space UP space podcast.
Correct.
I found that out.
Or you can find us by our email, which is Str8
Space.
UPPODCAST@gmail.com. So
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Okay.
Amber Atkins.
Amber Atkins from Mount Rose,
From Mount
Minnesota.
Rose, Minnesota.
I love that movie.
Just watched it.
Did you?
I did.
We need to watch it together sometime so we can quote things. But
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. So anyway,
So there's our intro. There's our social tags, media. Find us online. If you like what we got going on, share it with friends. Progressive, we are picking up actually.
we are.
Let's talk about that
Okay.
for a quick second because our last video broke the triple digits.
Yes, it did.
It did.
Yay! And you know what?
Fairly quick, too.
I think we should throw a little party at my house.
We should throw a party.
I think that would be great. Our first
Maybe
video
a
over
viewing
100
party.
I think that's fantastic. That's a wonderful idea.
Was a
We'll
great
do
episode.
a marathon.
Well, I don't know
play
about a
through-
marathon, but a viewing
Well,
party
I
would be fun.
mean, you know, we'll just let it play and people can casually come and have
I
a
mean,
hot
we're
dog.
talking 12 hours of
of online content.
don't know if people have it in them. And like 45 minutes of those 12 hours is us sitting there making stupid Easter egg Easter bunny hats.
But that's because we're great and Easter egg hats are amazing.
Right.
So.
All
And
right,
yeah,
so
now to the woman of the hour.
let's introduce our celebrity guest.
Yes, my mother. We shared a body for 9 months. How fun is that? I'm not the actual size I was then.
Thank goodness.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Right. Born in the Medical Center of Independence in Independence, Missouri.
Mhm.
And were you born there? I can't remember.
Me? No.
Yeah.
I was born in Sedalia.
Sedalia, Missouri. Okay, what was the name of the hospital?
Bothwell.
Oh, that one's still there, isn't it?
It sure is.
Is that the one that they use the caves to cool it? Don't they use it? Or is that the Bothwell Mansion? I can't remember.
have no idea.
One of them has a cave, like they have a fan system where they suck the cold air from the cave instead of having a conventional air conditioning system. Yeah, so.
Interesting.
I don't think it's the hospital though. That would make sense because they have to sterilize the air, so I would imagine. Don't they?
Probably a filtration system.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
You spent too much time with my sister, obviously.
Well, I mean, someone needs to send me on the train down to see her for the state fair every summer too. That was fun though.
Go sis.
Yeah, that was a good time. So, tell us a little bit about you growing up there in Sedalia.
I think we should start with the name because we don't know our guest's name.
Her name is Mom.
Yeah.
This is Mom.
AKA Pam.
Yes. We don't use last names, by the way. So
Right,
if
we
you
make up
do-
names.
Yeah, if you do get onto a tangent, which is fine,
If you want to talk about
yeah.
somebody, talk
Yeah.
dirt about them, just make up a name.
Yeah, it's okay to be shady. That's the whole idea of being straight up. We say things straight up. So
Right.
feel free to talk about whatever you want, but just remember no last names. And if you need to, like, if it's really bad, call him Bob.
Call him Bob.
Their name is always Bob.
Yeah. Whenever they're like, when we're talking like about a bad lover or even like
An ex.
or yeah, anything like that, it's always Bob. So anyway, tell us. Okay, so you were born in Sedalia.
Right. I only lived there till I was 4, though.
Oh,
I
okay.
was raised in Independence,
Okay.
Missouri.
Excellent.
Right.
When Truman was alive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Independence, Missouri is close to Kansas City.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a suburb of the Kansas City.
Look at me go. I know my geography.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. And I would like to just mention that all the hell I give you, you're not as bad as I make you sound.
I'm really not that dumb.
Mm-hmm. He's not. In fact, folks, anytime we go anywhere, this is the girl driving. She's driving, so... And we always get safely to our destination.
Right.
Without highways. I don't get that one.
Apple Maps.
Oh, right, I forgot. Anyhow, so tell us about independence back in the 60s? 70s?
60s, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We had a house that was built out in Eastern Independence,
Mhm.
so there wasn't a lot there. It was all woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So our playtime was in the woods or climbing on the big dirt hills.
Independence, or like I like to call it, the land of the duplex.
Land of the duplex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because down in Susquehanna, where you raised me most of the
That's
time,
duplexes,
all duplexes in our neighborhood.
Right.
Can you imagine?
No.
It's very strange.
I grew up in trailers, so.
Oh.
Oh.
But I can't.
interesting.
Well, I didn't grow up in a trailer, but later years, trailer life.
Hey,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong
Hashtag
with that.
trailer life.
Hashtag. Oh, there's. It's a new hashtag. Yes, I love it.
No, I can totally relate to this. So you grew up kind of in a rural area.
Right.
And me growing up, there wasn't a lot around. It was trees and mountains. That was our playground.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
didn't have like the city to drive into or to hang out. It was the wood and wilderness.
Yeah.
I'm
We
so
went to the
jealous about the
woods.
mountains, though.
Built tree houses and
Swing on vines.
yeah.
That was our playground.
We'd find a creek and go hunting for crawdads.
Yes,
Mhm.
those were the
Entertainment,
days.
Yeah.
I was always the one that got on the vine and broke it. Because I was the chubby kid.
I was a chubby kid too growing up.
Yeah.
You kind of ruined it for all the rest of the kids.
But
You
you
wanted
were,
them.
but you were a bit of a bruiser, though. You were the one that protected everybody, though, weren't you?
Yeah, the underdog.
You were the tough
I watched
cookie.
out for the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
So did you and your friends make like the crawdad earrings?
No.
You never did?
No.
Like you hold in there and they pinch your ear and they just dangle?
Deal with
I
that.
do have snake bone earrings though.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
I did
cool.
some. I did some. Yeah. I did some primitive camping
Oh.
in my life.
Well, there's a new one for me.
Someone else who likes the camp life.
By God. Well, I get
Have you been
the
to Sawmill?
Oh, yeah.
No. No.
No.
Mom's not going to Sawmill. Bunny says no. Hard pass. Hard pass. It's a
I've done a lot of
gay.
camping. I love
It's a
camping.
gay clothing optional campground.
No. No. Sounds safe to me.
Mom approved.
No. Because I do things that I would not.
I'm talking about for me. I'd safe zone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was pretty safe for us too.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, I'm sure you're surprised to hear this, but we were very popular.
Oh, I'm sure.
We were known as the not softball, the sawmill bunnies.
Sawmill bunnies.
Yeah, we were the sawmill. We literally
cute.
did not take those off the entire weekend.
That's cute.
I even slept in mine.
Yeah.
I woke up with them on. It was very cute. So,
Early
yeah.
life in Independence.
Mhm.
Grew up in rural area.
This is when Harry Truman was still alive. He
Which-
would actually take a walk around the square, and you could actually you could walk past
Walk
him
up and
on.
shake his hand.
Yeah, you could walk past him on the sidewalk.
Was the president correct?
Correct.
Okay.
My stepfather delivered newspapers to him when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
My dad also delivered newspapers.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us.
As a child growing up, that was like I looked forward to riding in the car with him.
My sister from another mister.
Josh's brother used to deliver newspapers.
I loved
Did
it. I
he?
used to help. Yeah.
I didn't know he was a newspaper boy.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'm really shocked to know that. I didn't know.
Joshua, Do you not remember the story of you in the back of in the pickup truck? Tim Hirschman's pickup truck, your brother's in the back, loading it up with the newspapers. We're getting ready to take him out to the neighborhood to throw his papers. You were 2 years old, climbed up in the truck, and back then trucks didn't have the locks on them. So you're hanging onto the gun rack, you pull it out of gear, and it's kind of a slight hill. So he's riding it across the street towards the big electrical thing.
Oh my God.
Going, having a blast. And I couldn't even go out there because I didn't know if he fell out of the truck, got squished in the street. I mean, it was a busy street. He could have got hit by a car. And they went over there, and when I caught up with the truck and him, he's going, do it again, yeah, do it again.
You're like a daredevil child.
From the get-go.
Oh my
I mean,
Lord.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it still holds true today. I let my inhibitions go to the wind sometimes, right?
I'm
Wow.
surprised that you didn't remember your brother was a baker boy.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be 33 this year, and this was
Yeah, but you've
30
heard that
years
story
ago.
a few times, I'm sure.
Oh well, that's true.
Yeah,
My
Yeah.
memory just isn't what it used to
he
be.
was very daring in a lot of things. I broke my leg, went through all within 6 months. I lost my job, broke my leg 31 days after I lost my job, so the
Oh my
insurance was
God.
not into effect. I had 2 children on my own, going through this divorce, and so here I am with a cast up to here and crutches, and every time I would go outside, he would disappear on me. He was gone.
Wow.
And
would
the
come
neighbor
home.
would come up the street, and they had these big concrete barriers next to their driveways, and she'd be like, I found him again on my concrete barrier. He was walking along, it was only about, maybe not even quite a foot wide, and he'd be up there walking.
On the top of it walking? Oh my
Yeah.
God, you were such a problem child.
No, I
Just
wasn't.
daring, just
Well,
daring.
And your mother through all that hardship. She had it rough enough.
Yeah, I know. And actually, what's amazing about that is that she paid $10 a month until she paid off her surgery.
I did, it took me
Wow.
like 15 years, something like that.
But back in those days, they would let you do that. Like
I
she
would
just
pay a
said-
little more if I could during income tax return time, but
Mhm.
yeah. But I finally had to let him go stay with his dad at that point for about your dad and your grandma Mary
Mhm.
for a couple months.
Was
because
that when I
couldn't-
went-
I couldn't keep up with him.
You
Is
had
that
to get
when I-
better.
Yeah.
Is that when I lived in Winston? In the
Uh,
country?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Lived in Winston.
Yeah.
How about
Winston, Missouri?
that? Winston, Missouri, which is a very small town. And actually so the first house that we lived in then was like your traditional like farm, big white farmhouse kind of thing. And we lived we had chickens, and my dad had 12 pit bulls.
Oh my God.
12 pit bulls, and 2 of them were on chains. It was your typical white trash, like total everything you can imagine. And I had to go get the eggs every morning from the hen house, and it used to piss me off because the fucking chickens were mean. They were mean as shit.
No, that would have been a little bit later, actually. Yeah.
Well, whatever. I remember
Right.
that about.
Yeah,
No,
you-
that was Weatherby.
you
That was when we lived
were-
in Weatherby. We used to live in Winston.
You were about 5 years old because you were prepared to go to
Mhm.
kindergarten.
Right, and that's when you came and snatched me up and brought me back to Independence.
Mhm.
And I was a
So I
suburbanite
found out
after that.
they had enrolled him in school and
Mm-hmm.
was planning on keeping him, and I'm like,
Negative.
Not
Ghost
gonna
Rider.
do it.
No, not today.
Mama
But-
says no.
But I did it whenever I would disappear. Would you just leave a bucket of chicken on the front steps, and I'd find my way home by that? Smell the KFC in the air. Is that how you got me home?
no,
Oh,
no.
well, it would work now.
Speaking of chicken. Speaking of.
You got a bucket of chicken?
No, but
Oh.
didn't Jonathan make the bomb diggity fried chicken last week?
Oh my god, it was delicious. Absolutely delightful.
Yummy.
I'm going to test the dumplings before
Chicken
we
dumplings?
leave. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of that before I go. But
Mm.
this girl can cook.
Yeah, you can.
Like,
I watch him. It's really
does she have like
talented.
Southern cooking like cookbook or some shit? Like,
When we
it's
were roommates
amazing.
before, he did cook, but not like this. So.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've been, you know,
Nice.
the fuel tank is full.
Good.
Gas tank.
So, teen years. Let's dive into the teen years a little bit. When you were a teenager, what was some of the big landmark things that happened?
What's your most memorable moment as a teen?
I was I ran with a lot of older, more mature children. I guess you would say, kind of, sort of.
That sounds familiar.
My years of growing up was the teens were towards the end of the 60s, early 70s, and it was awesome.
So it was like the love,
Yeah.
everybody, like
Yeah.
hipster.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you wear bell bottoms?
Of course.
Yes.
Hip hugger. Bell
Hip
bottoms.
hugger.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Halter tops.
Did you ever attend Woodstock?
No.
But you did.
I was too young for that.
Oh,
during that
darn.
time. Yeah.
You did go to some pretty good concerts, though.
Oh yeah, a lot of concerts.
What's your favorite one?
But back then it was $4 a concert, and
Excuse me.
yeah,
Wow.
Foghat, Deep Purple, let's see, Doobie Brothers. I can't even remember all.
Did
of
you
them.
smoke a doobie or two back in those days?
Of course.
I mean, I do nowadays, so
was-
it doesn't really.
Peace, love, and war back then. So go.
The
figure.
apple surely does not fall far from the tree.
Everything
Clearly.
was very. You didn't have to worry about a lot. You could hitchhike anywhere.
Oh yes, which
It
actually
wasn't threatening at all.
I understand.
You
There's a
know,
story. There's a story there.
Did you hitchhike? I feel like there's a. Oh, nice. This is getting juicy.
Mm-hmm. Tell us
Yeah.
what happened.
I was bored with life. This is, small independence. Never went anywhere other than Sedalia. And
Bustling metropolis.
so I decided to take a trip with a friend.
So you just got your little stick and
We were going
tied up
to-
your belongings in cloth and
No, not
what is
even
that thing
that.
called?
Not even that.
That's a knapsack, I believe.
Yeah, we didn't have that. We didn't even have shoes. We went to a concert.
Didn't even have shoes. Did you catch that?
They call you the barefoot Thelma and Louise.
Just shorts, halter top.
And you wonder
Went
why.
to a concert, decided we weren't going home that night. So we went down to in Kansas City's Luce Park, was well known for their hippies and drugs and whatever.
Just
but it
partying
was
and having a
all,
good time.
yeah. And so we ended up down in St. Louis, which is, 5 hours away?
Yeah.
Wow. With
And
no
keep-
vehicle, like hitchhiked and.
Hitchhiked, yeah.
And to set the stage for those that haven't been to St. Louis back in those days anyway.
Ferguson, everybody knows about Ferguson.
Well, everybody knows about Ferguson nowadays, yes, but
Yeah,
but St.
it wasn't
Louis,
like
that's
that
where
then.
the riots were like 2 or 3 years
Oh.
ago. But anyhow, St. Louis back in those days was like that was like going to Chicago would be equivalent to going to Chicago. So it
Yeah.
was a really big deal. It'd be like going to LA, like hitchhiking to Los Angeles
Okay.
when you're, somewhere else.
So someone like my upbringing would be like going to the Walmart.
I would think it would be
Just kidding.
Charleston, wouldn't it? Isn't it Charleston? Isn't that what you
Well,
Charleston's the capital, but it's not really a lot there.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
like
what's the
I guess
big
it is like a
city?
city.
What's the big city?
Morgantown probably is
Oh,
more
okay.
of a
Mm-hmm.
well-known area.
Mhm.
WVU.
The Pioneers?
Mountaineers.
Mountaineers. I always get that wrong. Anyhow, so was it a concert you were going down to?
It was a concert at Wild Woodies on Nolan Road. It was an outdoor concert.
Wait, I thought the
Just
concert
a-
was in St. Louis.
No, we just were going to St. That was
They
our,
ended up in St.
That
Louis.
was our.
Oh.
What happened is we went to Luce Park and we hung out with some people and we met this guy down there. His name was Jeff. Isn't that amazing how I don't remember a lot of things, but I do remember this.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he was an angel that was sent to look after us. But he's like, hey, if you ever get down to St. Louis, look me up. You got a place to stay. So we're like, well, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
We went down there. It was amazing. He lived in a place that looked like the ghetto on the outside. But you go into this amazing entryway, and there was like 3 doors. We went through the one on the right. And it opened up into this it was a baby grand piano, was white. The carpet was
Whoa.
white. The furniture was white. The couch and the chair and
Wow.
everything. I'd never been in anything like that before, you know. And then he took us into, it was his dad's place, of course, downstairs. Took us into the garage and showed us his dad's toys, and there was like 6 cars, you know.
So he was well-to-do.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have known it to just meet him. And then his apartment was above his dad's. Okay, this is really interesting, and I don't know how many people I know that's going to be listening to this, but we
Just call them Bob.
Yeah. Just let it all out. It's fine.
well, I mean, I don't know how many, you know, anyway. So it is my past. That is what makes me who I am today. But he had some, what was it called? Anyway, it was acid.
Oh.
And so we did some acid. And he took us to see Jesus Christ Superstar.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do before you see that?
So you're tripping balls while you're watching Jesus Christ
We were
Superstar?
in the movie. I mean, you really felt like you were in the movie. You were a character in the movie. And so, yeah, bizarre.
You know,
But
I
we didn't have
wonder-
no shoes, and we get up there, and they're like, well, you can't come in without shoes. And they pull out this box of shoes. And so we're cramming our feet in these really uncomfortable shoes so we can walk into the movie. And we got in there, and yeah, that was rather bizarre.
God, see, these are
Mr.
life stories
Natural.
that I want.
Right. But you know, in our lifetime, their generation was like, I got an idea. I'm going to make a 3D attraction at a theme park, and now you don't have to do the drugs, and you get to experience what I saw. So, like, that's what I feel like, kind of, like, we didn't have to do stuff like that to have those experiences.
This is true, I guess.
But in the same time, though, I mean, I took a trip to St. Louis once. Of course, I had shoes and I was driving myself, but
Probably
but-
had money and food and all that too, yeah.
oh no, I wouldn't go that far. I had just enough money to drink, and actually, it was Dustin. You remember my friend Dustin?
Mm-hmm.
It was his birthday. He turned 21 at midnight. And so we were at the bars in Kansas City where he couldn't drink, but he turned 21 at midnight. So we drank in Kansas City until 3, and then we got in the car and drove 4 hours to St. Louis. On the east side of St. Louis, which is like...
Different
No.
time zone?
No, but it's a bad place. Like, East St. Louis is like... I mean, it's kind of like Pine Hills here, but worse.
Oh.
And, well, anyway, they had a strip joint over there that was called
Lord.
Faces, and it was a gay bar. We went over there, and I don't remember us tripping on anything, but I know, oh no, we had some coke, and we smoked some pot on the way, of course. I mean,
Wow.
It's a long drive. 4 hours, you got to do something to entertain yourself. So we got pretty stoned, and then we dropped some coke because we got tired when we got there, and then we went in and we partied, and that bar didn't close until 9 a.m. And then we got in the car and turned around and drove back.
Wow.
Well, on long car roads like that, me and my friends just sing.
Well,
That's what we usually do in the car.
the good old
Same.
Midwest. We like our drugs, apparently.
We know how to do it.
But anyhow,
Well, back in those days, things, not that it was any better for you, you shouldn't, you know, it's not.
We are not condoning drug use. by
Correct,
the way.
we are
not
not.
condoning it.
Right.
Just sharing memories.
Right. So, but it was much more pure than what
Right.
the trash is that you get now.
Now it's
you know.
manufactured. It can make your heart explode.
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that things.
right.
well, I would like to point out that I never did anything worse than cocaine, and it was a very short-lived time of my life that I did, that
Yeah.
I went that far, because it made me really sick. So I was like, no, I'm done with this. So
I've never
I'm
did any of
now.
that stuff.
Really? Oh man, I smoked,
My whole life, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I smoked pot back in the
That's
day.
awesome.
but I smoked a lot of pot though. But even now I don't really mess around with stuff
Mhm.
anymore. I feel like anything that grows out of the ground would be okay, but even so, like, I mean, you have job implications, you have, and then there's the court of public opinion nowadays that you have to worry about too. So, I mean...
Well, I mean, and you see, like, even more recently, I saw somebody on my Facebook, like, all these people just dying from overdosing, and
Oh.
sometimes first-time users just dying in their
Yeah.
sleep from drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not Not worth it to me.
Well, yeah, and nowadays I also feel like everything's all money oriented anyway. But like nowadays, you have your dealers and stuff that are really pushing people to try stuff, and they want them to try a lot of it because the more they sell, the more money they have, and it's the greed is just in every facet of life nowadays. But anyhow.
So no Woodstock. We didn't do Woodstock.
No Woodstock.
No Woodstock.
But trust me though, I've been to some like shows in Kansas City, some like little indie shows and stuff that they have out there. Stuff gets pretty crazy there too. Like I mean, Woodstock was just the nationally world renowned one, you know,
Right.
and I think
Right,
Coachella
people
is
from
the
all-
modern version of that now, but there was still some pretty big
Like,
stuff that happened out
I
of
think the
this part.
modern version of that in the gay world is called communion. Which I've never been. I've never been to a communion
Oh
party.
God. Well, and
I didn't even know about it until recently. Someone was talking about it.
I don't even think I'm familiar, honestly.
You're not familiar?
No, what are you talking about? It's okay, she's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make it
Well,
weird.
it's basically a group of people. You show up and you pay like a little entry, and it's kind of like a balls to the walls orgy.
Oh,
They
I mean,
They
those back
usually
in my
sign
day.
up at a location. And
what? What did you just say?
They had, orgies went on all the time back in the 60s, 70s.
Well, they did. Isn't it back in those days? That's when they put the fishbowl wife swap thing.
Fish
Wow.
Did that go on? Yeah, like partners. A
I
bunch
never
of swingers.
attended one. To be honest, I never went to one. I was more of a one-on-one, so.
But wasn't that a thing though back in the day? Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
had like the swingers and stuff, the couples, and they would fish out the car keys, and whoever's car keys you got, that was the partner that you got.
Oh, this was more about.
Oh my God.
Am I
They
making
would
this
lay
up?
down plastic sheets and then put goo all over it, and then it just kind of piled in.
Sounds like a typical Friday night.
Did I just hear goo and plastic sheets?
Yeah, like
Crisco.
Crisco, once in a while, whatever. Or waterbeds was the big thing too.
Oh God,
The-
yes.
I
can see
mean,
it.
like I said, I never attended one, but I heard about them. You know.
Right, Audrey, I totally get it.
Her shocked face.
She's got the side eye right now going. The side eye game is strong right now. Learning new things.
This Audrey's looking over her shoulder. Like,
Right, she's like,
she's like, I may or may not have been to one of those.
me and this girl may have hung out at one point back in the day. Well, that's
Oh, Lord.
fantastic. Okay.
Wow.
Right.
So
And so I have to ask you this because I know you a little bit. So I have to say, what is your fascination with men that like to ride on motorcycles? I've always been curious about that.
That was just a short-lived, I think.
fantasy.
Well, you know, you go through different stages in life, and that was just one stage in my life with the Harleys. You know, and then
Was
again,
it ever like, was it about the motorcycle or was it the guy? Like that's what I'm curious about.
I've always liked to ride on motorcycles.
Oh. Okay.
It's about the wind in my hair and just.
I love that. Do you know, I love how free-spirited you are. And I'm so glad you passed that on to me. Because
Your-
that's something that I got from you.
Your dad, when I met him, and I lived in the duplex with Tom.
This is my biological father, by the way.
Yes. Oh, was I supposed to call him Bob?
No.
Not unless you're gonna talk shit.
No, you're perfectly fine.
And there was Bob and Bob and Bob.
Oh, dear God.
Anyway, he was down in Panama. Just came back from Panama in the Army, and met him. And he had his Sportster shipped from Panama to home.
Oh.
And we had met by then, so he was staying at my duplex, and he would park his his Harley just inside the front door, and we both smoked, but we'd put our cigarettes out at the tailpipe. So when we'd open the door and he'd start the bike and it'd blow everything out the door.
Oh my God. Lord, the fire marshal would have had a field day with that one.
Oh, let me tell you,
Oh, wow.
our biker years, yes.
Mhm.
We rode with the L Fitzgeralds and the Galloping Gooses, and there were two big groups there in Kansas City.
Interesting. That's so funny.
Um,
Blow the smoke right out the door, huh?
the ashes.
Ashes,
cigarette
butts.
Yeah.
Would you put the butts there too? So like everything
Yeah,
would
it
just
just
fly
went
out?
out the door.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
I would have to say, I miss one facet of smoking inside, and that's taking a shit and smoking a cigarette. There's something about the two together that is just...
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. When you have a big load to dump and you take that first puff and you exhale and then it all just falls out. And I don't know what it is about that, but it is fantastic.
I'm more of a candy crushing shit kind of guy.
Well, I am nowadays because, I mean, people don't smoke in their houses anymore.
How do you think I'm on level 1600?
Girl takes her time.
It's true. Oh, Lord.
I'm a princess pooper, too. I'm always on there. Like, if you ever get, like, a message from me, more than likely I'm on the shitter.
Huh.
I message and talk on the phone whenever I'm in there.
I'm known to send out selfies while I'm on the shitter, so... You're welcome.
I have a great idea for Instagram. Our next 2 selfies need to come from, well, not together, separately. But we should
We're
put...
going to a public bathroom somewhere?
No. I mean, we can. I don't really care. Whatever. It's all good.
No, no, that story came because someone, my friend Jason in North Carolina, was asking me, he texted me, he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, that's where it came from. I took a picture while I was on the crapper, but it was a really good picture. And I was like, I have to send this.
That's fantastic.
I mean, I just look so good in this picture. Behold that I'm sitting on a toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I just look so good, so I sent the picture.
Nice.
Became known that I will send you a selfie while on the crapper.
Nice. Yes. Look at and that goes for me as well. I have no shame. No shame. Unless you're in a relationship with me, and then you can't fart or poop around me for 6 months. That's just a rule. What about you? How long does it take for you to get comfortable whenever you're in a new relationship?
Well, let me ask the question.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
When you're first starting to hang out with somebody, when you're early dating, what's a good time frame before you should hear them or they should hear you bust ass?
Well, I think there's certain stages throughout life too, because when you get to my age now, it don't matter.
Thank you. It really doesn't. That's how I feel about it. I'm like, well, I'm like by at least 3rd date, they're gonna hear me blow ass. At least by 3rd date.
No.
I think actually most recently, like at the 2nd date, I was at their place and I was like, do you have any spray? I really need to use your bathroom. I mean,
I can't. I can't.
This one says 6 months.
6 months minimum.
To date. I'm like, what do you do when you're at their house? Like, do you excuse yourself and go to the gas station? Like,
If I have to poop, yeah.
That's just too much work.
I would like, I don't know. I have, of course I haven't been in a new relationship for almost 15 years, so, but your inhibitions keep dropping the older you get.
Well, I was going to say, maybe that's why. I'm just kidding.
It's true.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think that's a natural thing. Like, everybody does it, and I just assume get it out of the way early.
Yeah. I know.
Has he ever told you about his great-grandma?
No, did she like to blow ass?
Grandma was, she was a
crazy.
pistol. So this woman would be literally sitting at the dinner table with you. And it was a fine meal, by the way. We're talking like garden fresh vegetables that she picked that morning. Like, the chicken she fucking hacked up herself. Like, it's crazy. But she would sit down and she would take she would have her fork going into her mouth right at the table.
Did
and
she lean?
A little bit
A little
sometimes.
lean?
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean sometimes you have to.
Well, she probably didn't want it to be as loud.
She did
she
not
was trying
care.
to be respectful about it.
No. There was another time that we were walking through
Great, that
fucking
does sound to an
Macy's. I'm walking through Macy's with her daughter, my grandmother, and she was fancy pants. Like, she lived on the rich side of town and everything. But they'd be walking through, and Grandma Mary would just I mean, it was a long, loud one, And my other grandma, she goes, jumped away from her like she was radioactive or something. And my great grandma, she goes, I can't help it, I'm old, damn it.
I think that's true. I think that's very true.
Well,
as you get older,
It is true.
the turd cutter gets a little loose.
Yep.
can't pinch it off anymore.
I don't know why he calls it that.
Because that's what it does.
Well, gastrologists tell you don't. It's worse to hold it in than it is
Absolutely.
to. Yeah.
And there is a process, and there's a correct way to do it.
Care to share?
Shall we talk about that?
I think we should.
I mean,
It's
it
just
depends
all
on where
over.
you're at, but like if there's a certain the lean factor. That's what the leaning is for.
I'm a
It's to
leaner.
give it a nice gateway in which to escape.
I mean, yeah.
And if you lean just right and you're talented enough, you can just let it ease on out discreetly.
I have to
and
be
then blame it on
relaxed.
somebody else.
Right.
I have to be relaxed though. I'm a
If
little
it
too
makes
upset.
noise, you might as well just own up to it.
That's
Yeah.
true. Agreed. That's true.
My late husband was good about walking down the grocery store aisles with you.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
He had wet ones
Yeah,
though. They
but-
were wet.
He was also a lagoon ass too.
I mean, it was.
So, and once he do it, he'd walk off, and you're not realizing what's going on, and here comes somebody around the corner, and they walk past you going,
Oh God.
really?
I think one time I'm pretty sure I heard one of the clerks in the grocery store tell the manager they need to check for a sewer leak. At one point, I'm pretty sure because that was at
That's pretty good.
Macaluso's Thriftway on Parvin Road. She lives in the Northlands.
No, I'm drifting to the butt cream.
The butt cream? Oh.
Well, let's talk about butt
I'm
cream.
a horrible person. So I had this thing.
Can be.
Keep in mind, okay, so like you know how kids usually get embarrassed by their parents,
Mhm.
right? It was reverse. I always would embarrass her. And I would always do stupid shit because shopping is boring. And I would have to find a way to entertain myself. And I had to do it in a creative way to where I wouldn't get my ass kicked. Because if I would I want, I mean, I would get punished for that. So I didn't want to do that. So I would start, I would pretend like I had a mental disability. And I would start talking like I was handicapped.
Oh my Lord. In public?
In public, and really, really loudly. And she would just walk off and pretend like she didn't know me. And I would chase her through the store. Mom, come back! I need my ice cream!
So instead of ice cream, you're saying ass cream.
Exactly.
Wow.
And they're like, my rectum itches! I need my cream! So, and
Wow.
luckily everybody else in the store would be pretty receptive to it and would giggle and laugh about it, but
You were a morbid child.
I was.
So,
He
Pam, tell us.
loved attention, is what it was.
That hasn't changed.
He was-
Not one bit. So tell us a good embarrassing story on this one because I mean I know there's plenty.
Bring
We've
it
shared a
on.
few,
There's so
but-
much that I'm willing to share. I
Embarrassing
I
situation?
doubt-
I don't know.
come on, dig deep. Bring it on. I ain't scared.
I don't know. Oh, no. That wasn't embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Well, it wasn't embarrassing, but it was odd.
What?
No, I can't think of one that was.
I like odd.
Because
Odd is word. We'll take odd.
He went out and did those things. He embraced that. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't see it being embarrassing for him. You know.
I will tell you, I got
Like-
embarrassed whenever I would stand up in math class when I was a freshman and I'd have a boner. That was embarrassing.
Well,
I
everybody
didn't
did
know
that.
about that one.
Oh God,
Everybody
it
did
happened
that
all the
kind.
time. I was a horny little
See.
shit.
For instance, I mean, down at the lake, it's raining. It's a beautiful, warm, rainy day, and him and his friend, because we didn't have running water in the cabin, was standing out on the deck taking their shower, naked, with her soap.
Yeah.
And
I
so
could
he
very,
didn't-
very
he-
easily
there
become a
was
naturalist.
Embarrassing, never. I didn't. I can't think of anything.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story that my mother did to me as a baby, and she told me about this.
Sorry.
Well, enough suspense for that one.
that was
There's
completely
no
accidental.
list or punchline on there, but yeah, and it's kind of funny when I think about it. But like thinking back, like it's kind of mean But as well, I guess most of our viewers know, my mother is Korean, and she didn't speak a lot of English when I was a baby. Like her interactions, I'm sure, were very limited because she didn't understand a lot of English. So when she would be, and when I was an infant, like a baby, and she would be caught in a conversation with somebody, or she didn't want to talk to somebody, she would pinch me so that I would cry, and then she'd dismiss herself.
Oh,
She was like, "Oh, I have to take
yes.
care of baby." And it would pinch me and make me cry.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. Although
Kind of genius, but mean, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that is fantastic.
Love you, Mom.
That's fantastic. I love that.
She would do that to escape a situation.
Wow.
I blame that. My dad always called me like a wine baby, and he would tell me to get my lip up off the floor because I cried a lot as a kid, and I think that's the source.
Oh, wow.
She was always pinching you.
She conditioned me to just cry on command.
Oh, wow. That's funny. She used to make me hold her back pocket when we go to stores. Like when I was really young, before I
I
started
don't
doing
blame that.
the...
Smart.
He
I
was
don't blame
such
her.
a cute kid, very impressionable, and yeah.
I never saw a strange face.
I was always afraid somebody. Oh, and everybody, all the older people were his grandma and grandpa's, all of them. He took them all.
Oh, yeah. I was
He
a greedy little
yeah.
child.
So I worried about him getting kidnapped. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a real concern for a lot of parents these days let their kids run around and do whatever, don't care.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's terrible.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
It was always, do you want me to I'll take you to the bathroom. Oh, I'm okay. I didn't do anything, I swear. But I didn't have to deal with that too much. I tried to behave.
So were you a parent figure that spanked, like with the hand, switch, belt?
I was both. With Joshua's older brother, he got the spankings and the belt and grounding and all that stuff. Don't speak unless you're told to speak. And, but they're 9.5 years apart. So by the time Joshua came along, then all that was evolving to change. So
Were you the
Yeah.
baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the youngin'.
yeah.
Which,
So-
it evolved into a fly spotter.
Well,
when I was around.
with Joshua though, what I found is really all I had to do was raise my voice,
Oh.
and he would just go to tears.
Start
he was
crying. Oh.
very sensitive, very sensitive.
I'm not like that nowadays. FYI, so don't fuck with me. I'm just kidding.
Just grab a fly swatter, she'll just start bawling.
Great. I have a feeling you're going to chase me through Parliament House with a fly spotter now. Badge hair.
Yeah, I think that, and I think that's missing in parental guidance these days.
Yes.
Parents are so terrified that they're
Yeah.
going to get reported
Right.
or in trouble for basically training their child to grow up correctly, and I think that's
Right.
what's wrong with a lot of society.
I still think that it should be used as a last resort, and it should be just like a couple of swats on the butt, and and nothing that's going to leave a mark or a bruise or a handprint. If you can very easily go overboard with it. I think.
I think it could be there is a line there that's
But-
overboard.
But I do think that it is a necessary tool that you should keep in your wheelhouse when you're raising children, because it also does develop respect.
Yes, it is.
And I think
True.
that just banning it all together is just like anything else these days. One person does one thing and you want to ban it all. Well, I mean, you can't do that because you have to teach people
Well,
what's
we're
right, what's wrong.
we're babying our youth so much now that they grow up feeling entitled.
Yeah. Very true.
Air freshener.
Your air freshener agrees.
So yeah, I do think that's what's missing from growing up. Because talk about that now. Like as a kid, I was spanked as a kid with switch, belt, shoe, phone, whatever was available.
Phone.
I can't say I spanked Joshua a lot,
I mean, it happened,
but not.
but not often. No.
You were a good kid, actually.
I
Tom was a
tried.
good kid too. I think it was overdone with Tom and underdone with Joshua. So there should have been a better.
Do you want to spank him now?
We can do that. We can make that happen.
I'll pass.
Oh.
No, and I do. I mean, I don't think I got spanked a lot either as a kid growing up. But from the spankings that I received, I learned to respect my dad, and like you knew better. Like from that point on, they just had to give you that look, that parental glare that they had in their eyes. You're like, oh, I better straighten it up.
Like I was saying, you want to go to the bathroom?
I had that.
Nope,
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah.
You win. You
got to put a little bit of fear in these children these days.
Just a smidge. A smidge. Agreed. So,
so any fun stories we want to share about Mom here?
Any fun stories I want to share about Mom? There's a lot of fun stories with Mom, but I'll tell you a fun story, but first I would like to tell you one of my favorite little traditions that we've had. When I was young, my favorite thing was to go places with Mom, because Mom was always on the go.
He was my bumming buddy.
And I was her bumming buddy. And it's funny, too, because she talks about how, like, I'm always on the go now. And you've seen me, like, on the weekends especially, like, I don't stop.
Right.
I get it from her, because at one time, she was the same way. She couldn't sit still. Well, anyhow, when we would be in the car, every once in a while, and I think you probably started this with Tom first, but it evolved to us, too. But we would do an elbow fight. Have you ever done that?
While you're driving?
Yeah. And she'd pin me down, and then I'd pull out from underneath her, and we would sit there and fight with elbows. Sometimes it left bruises.
Frog each other.
It was fun.
While driving? This is so dangerous.
Uh-huh. I mean, it was the 90s. There wasn't as many cars on the road.
Pretty stout, pretty...
Mm-hmm.
I won.
Yeah, I know you did.
I always won.
She was tough. And the slug bugs.
I get a good frog in, and they're like, oh, okay, we're done.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Every time Mom won.
Wow, it's kind of like that, what is the game where you hold your fist so far from their shoulder and you like hit, and then you take turns trading punches until one of them's like, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, and it's similar, but it was more like a...
Your elbow is a good frog. Have you ever had somebody frog you?
Oh, I've had frogs, yes.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's how you played that game. So you would get in with that knuckle just right, and they would like frog their shoulder.
It was always like right in this region is where she would get you. She'd play with you for a little bit, and then she'd fight right in that one spot, and it's like, fuck, okay,
so
you win.
It would be like, knockout.
Right, exactly. So there was that, and then there was the slug bugs.
No, yeah.
And then it became slug bug no tag backs.
And then it was...
And she always saw it because, you know what's funny? Here was the trick. This is what sucked for me, because I didn't think about this until, like, way later. Because you didn't have cell phones and stuff. Like, you know, you wouldn't be... As a passenger, you're not looking around.
Right.
She's watching the road because she's driving, so she sees the cars. I never saw them because she was driving. And she... Wham! Right on my leg. Slug bug, no tag backs. Like, damn it. Again.
Fun, though.
Well, what evolved after you were grown, and it was Lindsay, hanging around with Lindsay, was the stop ahead signs.
Stop ahead.
Stop ahead.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
You just go,
oh yeah.
Stop ahead.
Stop ahead. Yeah.
And Lindsay would be with me and Lisa, and she'd be in the center, and me and Lisa would both get her. Bam! Stop ahead.
That is so funny. I've never heard of this game. This
The stop ahead signs. Watch for them.
Yeah,
it's coming.
When you see one,
it's
go,
coming. This one's usually a
look,
passenger
stop
too.
ahead.
This one's usually a passenger too.
I'm always writing. That's true. It's so fun. But yeah, that's that story.
Yeah.
We never had any fun car stories. Actually, you know what? This is one of my fondest memories growing up. My dad, he delivered papers, right? And so when me and my brother, we couldn't get along ever. So he would put us both in the back of the car because it was like we could never agree on taking turns riding in the front. So we both had to ride in the back of the car. Nobody would sit in the passenger side.
Oh.
And we would act up in the back. Instead of pulling the car over, my dad wouldn't say a word. He would reach down into the floorboard, grab a rolled up newspaper, and just start walking behind the seat, whoever he hit. That's how he'd get us to mine. Like, once we were acting up and being loud in the car, he'd be like, you boys calm down. And that was our warning. And then the next thing, there's papers in your face. But I got smart. I was small enough that I could sink down behind the seat. And he couldn't reach me, so my brother would be taking it.
That's hilarious. I used to play with my cars in the back window.
I used to,
And the Chevy Citation, you remember that car?
9 years. 9 years. That's the longest life of a citation I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it was a shitty car.
I remember the Chevy Citation. It was kind of like, it was
a hatchback.
similar to, was it similar to like a Chevrolet Chevette?
Ish, yeah.
My dad, that was his car growing up, a Chevette.
Mm-hmm. I loved that car because I would be, when I was small, playing with the cars. That was fun.
Wow.
It's fun.
Oh my God, we're at 52 minutes.
Holy shit, that went quick.
That went by real quick.
Well, I guess we need to start circling the airport and make our descent, don't we?
Yeah. I think our camera moved a little after we started.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's starting to have stroke face.
Sorry, we're a little crooked. So,
yeah.
why don't, I mean, I don't know how we should finish this off. Like, how do we want to end this? Do we want
I mean, yeah, we didn't even get to our topics this week. Nothing.
no topics. Oh.
That, again, was not what I meant to do. Let me just take a look here and see what I had for...
What topics did we have?
I don't know. I'm about to take
You
a
have
look.
the script. I didn't do anything again this week. I never do.
Yeah, you know, it's fine. Yeah, we were gonna talk about some gay stuff, but
We'll save it for next week.
we were gonna do stump a bitch and make mom wear the mouthpiece. That was disappointing. That's disappointing.
That would have been fun.
It was. I made her try
I
that. in the
almost
house.
bought that game. We were out yesterday looking, and I almost bought that game.
That's hilarious.
What'd you say? Is that what it's called? What'd you
Yeah.
say or something?
Yeah. Or no, say it, I think is something like that, but anyhow. But yeah, that's really the only thing that we... Oh, wait a minute, you know what? I had questions for you. Why did I not fucking do this before?
Well, I asked you if you want me to print that out.
I
So you
know,
have
I
it.
didn't even think about this. Okay, well... we'll just quickly go through some of these real quick. Was I messy as a child? And be honest.
That would
Yeah.
be yes.
Pretty much. Can't walk through your room without stepping on something.
What was the most annoying thing that I was messy about? Like, what annoyed you more than anything else?
Your room.
My room?
Yeah.
Really? It wasn't my cooking?
No.
Would you find like potato
Yeah.
chip bags and pop bottles and stuff, or
Plates, forks, cat
clothes?
shit.
Listen, it wasn't my fault. I didn't know that it needed a litter box, okay?
Oh my God!
So
I didn't know you had a cat.
I still, okay, I didn't steal her, but
It's
she...
a sad story, but it turned out.
Yeah, I'm
good
not going to
story.
go full of detail,
Yeah.
but we'll just say someone...
Bob.
Bob. Very good. Oh my God, look at you.
I got
Bob was drowning the rest of the litter of kittens.
Oh.
And there was one left, and it happened to be the runt of the litter, which
Aw.
literally, she was
Was
a
the
solid
cutest.
black, yeah.
Oh, she was beautiful.
She was a solid black cat. Her name became Shadow.
Medium hair,
She literally fit into the palm of my
long
hand.
hair.
And I had a Kansas City Chiefs starter jacket back in those days. And
Oh, we all had the starter jacket.
correct. And I took her and put her in my pocket, the breast pocket on the inside. And I ran to my grandmother's house because I would go to my actual father's house. I would go to his house on the weekend. So anyway, I ran to my grandmother's house. And I called her and I was like, come pick me up. I want to come home, blah, blah, blah. She came and got me and took me home. And when I got home, she had no idea. I have no idea how she didn't hear it, the whole ride. I was just like, okay. So how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. I was
Turn
like...
the music up.
Yeah, I was completely talkative the whole ride home, and then we got home, and I didn't know what to do, but the cat kept shitting all over my bedroom, and I was like, what do I do? And then finally she's like, why is there cat shit in here, Joshua? And then it finally came out that I had a cat, and she's like, we'll go get a litter box.
Oh.
So-
Because that's what mothers do.
Mm-hmm.
And we had her for 18 years.
Wow.
She lived to be 18 years.
She was a beautiful cat.
And she was, oh my God. If you didn't pet her, though, she would actually push her head into your hand and be like, no, you're going to pet me. Deal with it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Wow, that would have been good if we did that earlier. Okay, this is a good one. What's one of your favorite childhood memories with me?
Oh my gosh, there were so many. I loved taking you in the caves, the natural caves. And
Oh yeah, that's a good story. So
Yeah.
we were in the cave. We were
natural
doing,
caves.
Yeah.
The hard hats. You
Mhm.
had to get permits to get in.
Oh wow.
I think
You
I
had two
was
sources of light a person. and
9 or 10, and I was actually relatively
You
small.
were younger than that.
Okay, well either way, I was small. They had to throw me over a like 20
Holding
foot.
on to him, I had to toss him across a 6-foot opening because there was 3 levels. And my friend Ricky on the other side had to grab his hand
What?
when I let go to get him across it.
Because I was too small to jump. I couldn't jump
That's
on my
so
own.
scary.
My brother was on the next level down with my
Just in
friend's
case.
kid.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no, he's down there going, I can't believe you're doing this, Mom. That's my brother.
And I'm like, wee!
No daring there, right?
You're gonna
That's
throw me.
scary though. My god. Like.
I think you got a little bit of it from me.
Imagine that.
So you got to see stalactites and stalagmites.
Correct.
Oh,
Mhm.
and the bats were only like a foot from our head, and they'd start flying, and I'm like, freeze, guys, just freeze. And that's what you do. You just freeze, because they have radar. You know, they can feel the warmth of your
So
body,
bad.
and they'll just...
Did they land on you?
No, they'll go right around you. They don't want
That
to
reminds
touch you
me-
any more than you want to touch them.
Oh, it reminds me of that bat at the sawmill in the garage.
Oh yeah.
Everybody thought I was crazy, but I saw this
No,
bat
you
fluttering
did.
around in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They thought I was seeing things, but then they saw the bat.
Yeah.
There was a bat in there.
It's a structure where people go to have sex.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
I wasn't gonna go all there, but
no, it's fine.
and we were not in there to do that, by the way.
No,
we
no,
were
no.
just doing the tour.
yeah.
She wouldn't care if we did.
But that's probably one of my... And then, of course, scout camp.
Oh, scout camp was always fun. True.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to wind it in. We're about to hit an hour.
We're almost at the hour mark.
Yeah.
So okay.
All right.
Well,
Well,
any words of wisdom? Any words of wisdom,
Well, I
Pam,
think I'm
for
just
our
gonna
audience? You'd
do
like
my-
to share?
normal thing. Wait a minute.
We usually throw out a little
Words to live
little
by.
ditty, words to live by.
Words to live by. You go ahead. Go first.
What I tell my children,
Yeah.
always come from the heart center with love and be grateful for everything.
Aww.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Mm-hmm. And she did that like on the spot just now. How about that? But me, I'm gonna do my normal thing, but I'm gonna have to paraphrase. So I don't have it in front of me. I hope I don't fuck it up. But never let the scars of yesterday. Never let the scars of yesterday hinder your curiosity of tomorrow.
Very
That was
good.
pretty good.
I wrote that myself,
Very good.
but that's my words to live
Very
by.
proud of you.
Thanks, Mom.
Mine's not so great, but it's still words to live by. I just have to say, every day is a great day. Some are just better than others.
It is what we choose to make it.
That is
It's very
so
true. And I learned, well, I don't want to get back to another topic, but it doesn't matter where I've lived in a lot of places. I've moved around quite a bit, and it doesn't matter where you're at. It's what you make of where you're at that makes
Right.
things wonderful or depressing.
It's
The
true.
people say they're bored all the time. I don't even remember the last time I was bored.
It's true.
Very good.
I agree. I mean, I have some friends that grew up in Kansas City and said that it was the worst place they could have ever grown up. But for me, it was an absolutely wonderful experience.
Yeah, like a blast.
I had the best of friends. We had very similar types of situations when we grew up because, my friends would always come over to my house or I was always at somebody else's house. Like, we always had a great time. Even when we were poor. Even when we were dirt poor, we still had a great time.
Or you were always camping or something. I mean, going somewhere.
I never
Doing
said so.
something.
Some things never change.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what my take is. Bored. If people say I'm bored all the time, they're probably boring people.
Now, can you see why him and I became such great friends in such a short period of time?
I do. I'm glad I got to meet you.
Likewise, and I'm glad you took the time out today to be on our show.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
so
that.
much for
I
being
feel very
with us.
honored. Mother's Day. Thank
Oh
you.
yes.
It is Mother's Day, very
Yep.
important day.
Our first Mother's Day special.
It is. It's actually our first special on an actual
It's true.
holiday. So
Mhm.
we did an
Okay.
Easter thing, but
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're gonna get back to the sex talk next week.
yeah. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And thank you so much for checking us out. You can get us on YouTube at Str8 Podcast, Str8 UP Podcast. If you want to search us, put spaces in there. And that's also our email, Str8
At Gmail.
up at gmail.com. And then our Twitter handle.
Twitter handle is Straight Up Podcast DJ. And if you like what you hear or see, share with a friend.
Yes, we keep forgetting to
We're
tell
trying
people
to get we're trying to get so many views that we get free stuff. So.
Right, and I found out that
We need the commercial before our
10,000 views on YouTube.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we will. Goddamn,
We're gonna get there. We need a commercial before our show.
That's right. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Absolutely.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, daughters, all the women in the world. We
And
love
mothers that have gone before us.
you.
Absolutely. And fathers that have to play mothers.
True.
Yeah, very good.
I love you, Mommy.
Love you too.
Mwah. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for attending